We can.
Wow.
Oh, we're live on Facebook.
Got to make sure you're smiling. So I got my towel. I'm half naked. I'm on a treadmill.
That's great.
Well, I was on a bike, listening to praise and worship, looking out over the city, praising the Lord for my life. Use me for your glory, just like you guys, probably.
Yeah.
Owen, you're amazing. We are welcoming all our listeners today to Pods with Posh and Pool. We are live with Owen, who works with the homeless in Auckland. He's out on the streets. He does incredible work, and we are so thrilled to have you with us today. How are you?
Very, very grateful. You know what? I make no apologies for my strong Christian witness. I wake up in the morning and I'm just saying, Lord, use me. That people could see a reflection of your character and nature, even if they don't like you. So, my life is a testimony to the goodness and grace of God, but also the kindness of people. All the stories that I share have people in the background that you'll probably never meet. So, for me doing what I do, called to do, it's been a help because there's many people have the same heart doing the same incredible stuff. So I'm really grateful for help for people, same heart. So yeah.
So you are meeting incredible people, aren't you, Owen, working on the streets? Tell us about what it's like in lockdown. How has it impacted people on the streets in lockdown?
This lockdown's been different for the amount of sort of people that we're meeting. There's a lot of elder people on the streets now, and they're so broken, and they're hiding in all the little nooks and crannies of doorways, dark places. When people, I find, that are embarrassed or they're facing something real hard, they separate themselves to some place that's dark where people can't actually see their face, their eyes. And, I've seen the faces of death in such a way now, it's like, it hurts me in the heart because I know, wow, God give us the keys to be able to show your kindness and generosity. And usually he just says, the love gifts that we have through power of even, I want to cuddle them, but you can't. You know what I mean? And you want to reach out and shake their hand, but food and blankets and clothes and just sitting down with them is it's really powerful. Do you know what I mean? It does even something for yourself. I mean, I'd never thought, even 10 years after doing street ministry, that I'd be compelled even more the deepness and the goodness of God. That we can meet people where they're at. And so, like, we just don't know what's happening in people's lives, what brings them to a place of desperation. And I always got to looking at that person was a child in someone's arms, and someone's mum, dad, brother or sister. And so we have an opportunity to bring words of encouragement. Doesn't mean that we have to try and convince them that they should become Christians. Although I have a strong Christian witness, just to become love, and to tell people that we care and that they're of value and that we see them and that we may have an opportunity to walk them into friendship, and then they become more than just your friend, they become family in the sense, do you know what I mean? So this is passion for me. It's passion for a lot of people who do this sort of work, and it's just an extension of God's heart. Well, we hope that that's a reflection of what Jesus could look like living in us, I guess.
We can see the passion in you, Owen, and you work tirelessly with the homeless. And I've seen quite a lot of your Facebook posts, and the things you do is incredible. And I think, we talk a lot on this show about we are here for love and connection. And when you say you see these people and they are, they are downtrodden, they are ashamed, they are hidden, and then you actually go to them and you offer them something, and you're offering them kindness. And that's one of the biggest messages we've been given here, especially down in lockdown by our Prime Minister, be kind. And it's so easy to go through life to judge others. And it actually takes a lot of strength to not judge people, doesn't it? And to really just recognize them and their pain and honor them in that. It's so incredible what you do. So I just honor everything you do as well, Owen.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, as I said, life's a journey, and your heart is this hope that they'd see what we see, but majority of the time it's a process for many to understand what you want from them. All right, and it can be time consuming for a lot, but as I say, I get home sometimes at 1 o'clock in the morning. But this is what I prayed for my life would be, used for God's glory, because obviously I've got a real dark past. That someone showed me kindness, someone showed me generosity, and many from here on in, they've spoken to my life, and so I've had strong mentoring and strong leadings and principles of life. it's just something that I'm living. I not only do this in the streets here, but I'm involved with human sex trafficking, orphanages, hospitals, prisons, drug rehabs, anything to do with any type of advocacy. I have wraparound services and people who are really good at what they do. So we're actually just a real living storybook, you know what I mean? Just giving out of what people have invested into us. So it's, you know, yeah, as I said before, there's many people doing what we're doing too that don't have social media. And I really wrestled with that, but we don't have to wait for a board meeting to get food on the table, put people into houses, get them help within the court system. You know, you young people that go there, some can't read, some can't write, they don't know the language of the courts. And so we turn up and they say, oh, I stand up and say, sorry, Your Honour, I'm Pastor Owen from Humanity New Zealand, and our friend here has representation we've come to support, and we have the answers for you. And then all of a sudden the judge just turns around and says, you've been in my courtroom for 2 years and I like what these people are speaking, and like, if you plead guilty today, I will look favourably upon you. So the person looking at us was like, plead guilty. Judge threw the charges out, threw them out, and he said, I want to speak with these people over here for your restoration. So that's the power of connection.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
The power of doing what you're supposed to be good at. And so, like, I'm only doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So we're connecting people who can find the solutions and conversation.
So Owen, I've got a question for you. There's so many people listening that are in lockdown at home. They're working from home, they've got children, they've got families, they can't go on the streets to help, but they would do anything they can to support you. What is it you need right now from people like us that can support you? Is it food? What is it you need?
I put an incentive up on the other day as I was sitting there with the Lord, and he said, you know, these young children at home in Auckland that can make cookies, they can bake cakes, and they can write little cards with words of encouragement, and you can go and pick them up, says the Lord, you know. So I've been saying to networks of people, because I'm an essential service, that I can actually travel. And so I will travel anywhere to get a meal from someone. Someone goes, oh, and I've only got 10 meals. So I mean, that's great. It's the heart. What I'm believing the Lord is wanting to do with people is so that we work together, not only as friends, but for a common cause, and that's the principles of kindness and generosity. And so, yeah, if people are in the vicinity of Auckland, we're feeding over 200 people plus now. It went from 30 to 70 to over 100 as people started to realise that we're on their streets. So we don't even have to go far. We just park. All these flash buildings where people have been put up in, what are you going to understand with people who've never been in a house like we're living in right now, don't know how to live in them? So they get restricted. And if there's 4 or 5 people in that house, it just drives them crazy. So they won't care about rules. They won't care about regulations or even COVID-19. What they'll do is they'll go wandering. But in the wandering, they get hungry. Homeless people now they don't have the luxury of people giving them food on the street because there's no one to give them food. And there's people looking in the rubbish bins, but there's nothing in the rubbish bins because there's no food on the streets.
Yeah.
So we found out that some people are eating once every 2 days.
Wow.
And so, you know, I felt guilty when I got home yesterday. I opened the fridge up and I've got choices, many choices. I thought, oh gosh, I've got to get this food out. Last night, one guy, he's been petitioning me for my shoes for the last 4 years. Now I'm attached to a pair of Asics. That's just how crazy life is. And the Lord said, would you give him your shoes? And I went, no. And then I said, no. I wrestled with the Lord, and he was standing there in his bare feet, and he goes, I really like those shoes, Pastor. And I went, you know what, you can have them. So I ended up going home with a pair of gum boots on, but I'm not attached to a pair of shoes. The Lord had delivered me from a pair of Asics shoes, so it's all good.
I love it. Do you know what would be a really cool idea then? If we could get the message out to maybe like neighborhoods, if they could do
Yes.
like if they could all just do a load of baking and you just come to one neighborhood and pick a load of stuff up at once, rather than traveling to different suburbs. If we could get suburbs to all come together, and Sue and I are happy to do things like we're happy to put a notice out on our local Facebook page and to try and see who we can get to bake. My daughter's great at baking. I'll get her on the cookies. I think that's such a lovely idea. And
little cards.
Yeah.
little cards. And so people have given little gift packs too. If you have a look at one lady named Suzanne Doherty, all right, I just love her heart, right? So she said, how can I partner with you? And I said, I'll give you food. And she cooks the most yummiest food, and it must take her hours. And I watch these people. I love it. This is my delight, is to sit in the car, watch someone who's so hungry, right, that would never get to eat a meal like she prepares. And the Lord said, she gave me one, and the Lord said, open it up and have a look, and just be very, be observant of how she's done it. She put stuff on the potatoes I've never seen. Little stuff and cheeses and little sauces. And when you sit in the car and watch someone eat it, you can see them, they like it. This is a restaurant 5-star meal. And I think there's thought and process gone into that. Just imagine the kids that are, if you take pictures or some video of your kids cooking little cakes for people that they don't know. And the amazing thing about this is people will probably not even thank you in their brokenness. Do you know what I mean? And that's okay.
Yeah.
Last night, a woman came running and we ran out of food. I was so sunk in the heart. And she goes, I'm so hungry. And I said, love, we've just run out of food. And she just looked and her face went down. And then she was so disappointed, and nobody else wanted to share their food with her. And she just sat in the corner, and I felt so stink. I was looking through the car going, Lord, manifest one there, supernatural, but it never came. So I came home, I challenged, opened the fridge up, and I got lots of food in my fridge, and I thought, God, I feel greedy. You know what I mean? So,
Owen, talk us through practicalities. So we're really happy. We do put lots of our podcasts on Takapuna page, on the Devonport page, on the Remuera page. We're really happy to do that for you. Talk us through practicalities. You want meals, you want biscuits, cooking, baking, you want notes, but is there a set time of day if we manage to get somebody on each group page to coordinate a place to drop it off? Is there a time of day that you need? Is it mornings? Is it lunch? Is it evenings? What's the practice?
I think the lunches would be great, because we've got dinners, we've got evening meals pretty much set by some big organisations. Lunches is where we're lacking at the moment. Right? So we get people lunch. It doesn't matter if they miss out on a meal overnight. Lunches, if they're cold packed meals, is even better. Like they've done up like a cold rice dish with something or whatever. Is great already in the containers. If the containers are made up, they're easy because you can just give them out.
So you're talking containers that you buy in supermarkets where you can buy, say, a pack of 5 or 10, put the food in separately. And then what would be the deadline for cut-off for pickup for lunches?
So even if they made lunches and they didn't get to me in the day, the next day's fine.
Okay.
So we meet up at the mobile service station right at the top of Ponsonby, on top of K Road there. And because I have a big trailer on the back of it, then we just serve from the back of that. And at night time, we're there at 5 o'clock. So 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock, we gather, load up our trailer with different foods that are coming. And then I will send to a lady, her name's Leo, and she's kindly offered her services to facilitate people who are wanting to contribute food and other stuff. And she's real smart. So it's really, I just want to drive the car.
Yeah. So I saw your post this morning where you had put her name up there. So what we will do at the end of the podcast is we'll put the link for listeners that want to support you to connect with her, because we've already had offers of people to bake and cook. I love the fact you're talking about notes, because again, we come back to compassion and connection. It's about connection, isn't it? There's no connection when you're doing something remotely, online or virtually. But we love the fact that your heart is there in the community. And I know you've got other people working with you as well.
Yeah, we're starting to facilitate others. So if there's an influx of food and resources, we'll connect with other people like Christine Seeker, who started out with us in Humanity New Zealand. And they're doing a great work in their own sense. And there's others, and they just don't have the social media reach. And so, listen, whilst this is going on for 6 to 8 weeks, we're just combining resources. And we find that if people want to connect in that area, that's fine. That's great. You just go where you feel the need is, because there's plenty of food and resourcing for everyone who's doing this type of work. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And Owen, when COVID lifts, Sue and I would absolutely love to come and spend some time with you, if that's okay. And we'd love to come and help.
Yeah, you'd love it. I'd take you to places you'd be very challenged. People live in bridges, under bridges. They live in trees. They live in weird corners of streets that you would possibly never know that someone's living there. Yeah. And it just does something to you. But anyway, it's all good. My hope is that one day they're going to invite me to their house or something to eat, or they're going to come home with me. I wish I had a big farm. We'd take them all down there, and you'd have a holistic approach with gardens and gardening and painting and dancing and singing, and it would have to be what do you call it, joy based, not punishment based or all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you for considering me today. I feel real grateful. I feel real honoured. And as I said before, I speak for many people that you've never met that are standing and working behind me. They're the real heroes. And just thank you.
Oh, and you are super humble. We are definitely, but Sue and I will probably go and make a special trip to the supermarket now, and we'll get in the kitchen and we'll put our podcast to one side, and we'll do some kind of brew in a big vat, and we'll give you some meals. We'd love to do that.
Wow.
You're such an inspiration. Your passion and your energy is infectious. And just thank you on behalf of everyone on the streets, what you're doing. Thank you on behalf of all of us at home and are not on the streets helping out. Thank you that you are a voice for those vulnerable people, and we love you to bits. You're incredible. For those people that have just joined the live, just to reinforce, Owen does have essential worker status, so if you could help out doing any cooking, baking for Owen, that would be so much appreciated. Owen, your treasure. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Love you guys. See you. Bye.
Take care.